Hey, Brian.
What's up?
You know, it's a good idea on how to make a movie.
What's that?
You find a bunch of young, impressionable girls and just convince them to take off their tops, and then you just like jerk off to it, and that's what this fucking writer and director combo did.
I will 100% agree to that. I will say, and we'll get into it, that I found this movie way less objectionable than, say, Camp Blood 8.
Yes.
And I'll explain why in a few minutes, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Hello and welcome back to the 132nd episode of Good Bad or Bad Bad, a show we watch terrible movies, tell you should too. I'm your host, Mr. Brian Shilligo, joined as always, the other host, Mr. Kyle Hitton. Kyle, this we got in the mail. We try to do some mail-in ones. People are sending us mail. We should try to do them. So I decided to pick one that we had gotten recently in the mail, and this one was available to watch on YouTube, as well as being my kind of bad movie in terms of when it was made. Oh, which was 2010. The film we're talking about is
Vampegeddon.
My brother told me there was a British guy who used to live out here before the settlers came. One day he gets in a fight with a bunch of cowfolk, slaughters all of them, buries the bodies, burns the homes, just disappeared. Kind of creepy, huh?
So I don't remember who sent us this at all. Vampegeddon. Longshank would do anything to kill vampires. He would even try being a lesbian. Oh, it's EP HAURY. But
they have good taste.
They do have good taste. So like I said, this movie's available on YouTube. I watched the trailer. I was like, yep, I'm into this.
All I know is we're finally going to do one of these things right. I mean, it's not like we're going to become vampires or anything.
Kyle, first things first, this whole movie is ADR. Wait for me.
I'll never leave without you.
Except for like 3 lines.
2 lines! I'm so glad you noticed that a movie that is 99.9% ADR has like 2 or 3 actual lines in the middle of scenes, completely random lines.
Just in the middle of other dialogue
yes!
too.
Whosoever findeth this can bring us back. So saith the Prince of Demons. Thy canticle is the bridge from one world to another. Tread softly.
Man, this shit is good.
And it'll be one little 4 words in the middle of everything else. I'm like, what is happening? It happened so rarely that I specifically wrote down time codes.
We're safe now.
No, it won't.
Because yes, the rest of this movie is completely ADR'd, including the opening, which on top of the fact that it's all ADR, the sound mixing in this movie is the worst thing. And look, sound mixing's hard. I understand that. But you can at least do it relatively competently by just layering in a bunch of shit.
Here is the thing with sound mixing. People out there who want to make movies. Sound mixing should be a reductive process. Unless it's something that's happening on, like, what do they call, mise en scène or something like that? Unless it's something that's promoting action, it needs to be as unnoticeable as possible.
I would go the other way. At least my argument of what they did wrong in this movie is that they literally only put the exact direct sound effect of whatever the single most important thing happening was and nothing else. Mm-hmm. That was my complaint, is like there's no ambient sound, there's no secondary sound effects. It's just whatever is happening.
My point of reductive is that you need to make it sound natural enough to where nobody will notice it.
Right. That is true. What is this? Camera's making noise.
Okay, Brian.
So we open up and did it again. Is it me? Am I doing something?
Brian, are you okay? Do you need
Kyle,
do you need help?
I'm fine. It did it again! I don't know, man. Okay, moving on. So we open up in Arizona in the 1800s or something like that.
Which seems to be where all of our fucking vampire movies happen now.
Yeah. Why is the Old West such a popular bad movie vampire?
What, somebody saw Dust Till Dawn and they were like, okay,
I guess that's what it is.
Sure, can't let this go.
Yeah, but we open up on a VO with no other sound whatsoever other than this VO.
There had been vampire hunters in Europe since the existence of the undead had been discovered in 1213.
We have these people walking through like an old ye olde like tourist trap
Yes.
Western mining town.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was like, oh boy, okay, yeah, I've seen those on the side of the road driving through the old American West. But there's so much exposition in this opening monologue that would be so much better served. And this is even something I don't like is the opening title cards that are like explaining backstory. But that would be so much better than this guy rambling off a bunch of lore that I don't care about and I'm never going to remember.
Count Giovanni of Italy, long rumored to be a vampire, chartered a ship to America. He and his disciples landed on the shores of the New World 6 months later and quickly went into hiding. With most of his disciples dead at the hands of Longshank, Giovanni and Igor, the powerful vampire's familiar, prepared to face Longshank.
Even maybe 5-10 second little shots of like,
Yeah.
a faux, like, here's a faux city thing of old London where it's like vampires.
Do something. But no, it's just this guy walking through this Western town and a voiceover that I assume is him explaining that he's Longshank.
Even as Giovanni's ship landed, Richard Longshank, London's premier vampire hunter, was well on his way to catching up with the Count.
He's Longshanks. He's a vampire hunter.
Yes.
And he's come over to America trying to chase down Giovanni, the vampire.
You know, that Italian vampire that we've all heard of?
I knew initially I wasn't going to remember any of this. To be fair, it doesn't really matter because the movie doesn't remember or care about most of it, to be fair. Also, they have very Jezebel. This movie reminded me a lot of Jezebel.
Yes.
God. I think you two spend way too much time together.
And Katie thought I was watching a sequel to Ember Days.
Yet a part of their spirit lies in the realms beyond as well. Not unlike myself.
But I because my other one was Jezebel and the Incubus.
Yeah.
I got
well,
Incubus
it's because the
vibes
music
hard.
they used throughout it.
Yeah, it's bands that are like a little bit less well known than like Incubus or like other similar bands of the time period. Your 3 Days Graces. Etc.
Oh my god! And then all the music was done by like one band in this film.
I guarantee, yeah. And they use it constantly throughout the movie. At times where it doesn't really make sense, and
I'll say this much: there's not enough tonal shift or like
within their music
to make me think that it's anything other than the same song over and over.
No, it could very well have been the exact same song the whole time, and I would be like, yeah, probably. It's all the same noise. Like it's all the exact same sound the whole time. You know that she had me with just one So he's a vampire hunter and he's in Arizona. We finally, as he's dropping his wife off at like the local priest or like because there's a priest I think that comes out to greet him, and he dropped and he's like, if I would have known that was the last time I'd see her, I would have sold her. I don't know, whatever.
Longshank had no idea that when he left his young wife at dusk, it would be for the last time.
And then he goes walking into the desert, I guess, to try to find the vampire. And it makes no sense immediately. There's just some random woman in the woods who like bites her lip at him and is like, and he's like, all right, I'm coming over. And then
Oh my God.
she
And
pours him a drink and then tries to slice his throat with a razor? But he fights her off and she runs off. And I love when he stands up, we get this reveal of all these dumb crosses like on a belt.
They went to like Ace Hardware and got some lumber.
And they got a hardware belt and just stuck a bunch of these little crosses into his belt. It's fantastic. I loved it so much. And then he murders. So then he pulls up the floorboards of this campsite. And I guess it's supposed to be coffins, but this looks like boards. And there's vampires down there. And he just starts murdering them all.
Just steak.
And then this random kid comes out of the woods. Who was the kid? And what is he? Kid's just like, and he just runs off and he's like, get out of here, kid. And it's like, what was that? But then he runs out. He's like, your time is over, Giovanni. And Giovanni starts doing his vampire voice, which is so good.
You might as well show yourself and prepare for death.
Yes.
I can't even dare do it justice, but holy shit, his vampire voice in this movie is fantastic.
There is no true death for my kind, Longshank. I've seen to that.
He's also holding an unconscious woman.
He's holding an unconscious naked woman. Don't know who that is. Maybe the woman that just ran. I don't know. We don't never get explained who or what that is.
Losing your touch, old man.
But he stabs our guy. Longshank stabs Igor in the chest.
It's been so long, Igor. I sincerely hope I'll never see you again.
Which Igor is now helping Giovanni instead of wasn't he Dracula's? Or is that not Igor?
Igor was Frankenstein.
Yeah, I don't know.
Victor von Frankenstein.
Yeah. But anyway, so it's Igor's helping out Giovanni, and he gets stabbed in the chest by Longshanks. And then in the greatest visual effect in a generation, Kyle, Giovanni appears and grabs Longshanks. And they fly up into the sky.
What the
fuck? And the key on this is so bad. As they're floating in the night sky, it's so fucking terrible. And he's like, Longshanks has got a cross. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And he's like, if you kill me, we both die because I'll drop you, you know.
You kill me, you too shall die.
And they're like supposed to be hundreds of feet in the air. You can't tell where they are because it's just a bad green screen. But he's like, works for me. Bam.
So be it.
Nails him in the chest, and Giovanni drops him, and we get this fantastic green screen. Falling shot, and then we cut to him on the ground bleeding to death. He has fallen from a great height, and the sound effect for the bleeding effect is like a faucet running. And it's only in your left ear because the sound is mixing in this movie. It's so terrible.
I also love like the blood, the amount of blood, the way the blood's coming out is like you can just almost see the tube at the end.
Yeah,
where it's just pouring out of.
Oh my
so
god,
bad.
it's so stupid. And then I think we might get opening credits there. I'm not sure because now we flash forward to modern times.
Try not to be like this. Take care of yourself. Give good health a big kiss.
And we're introduced to our super cool alt girls, like emo girls, who are our main characters, and their names are Melissa and Mona, and then there's friend. No, Mel's the friend. It's Mona. Shit, I can't remember what the main character's name is.
Liz?
Is it Liz? I think Liz is the third friend.
Yeah.
Melissa's the main
Melissa's the
character.
main.
Mona's
And Mona-
the blonde one, and then Liz is
Yes.
the third friend. Yes, that's what it is. So we're introduced to all of them, and the ADR lip sync in this scene is not even even close.
Unless you're middle-aged all of a sudden, then I don't buy it.
Middle-aged people go to college.
Where?
Television.
Touche. Where are those assholes? Where are those assholes?
The only person that does a marketable job at doing ADR well, at least matching lips, is the Liz character.
Yeah.
It's not like I had a choice. My parents said I had to get a job.
The chicken shack?
I wanted to work at the video store, but my uncle owns this place. There's nothing I could do.
Everybody else is just
not even close.
It's either tonally off or the lip sync is way off.
Yeah, but then they get ambushed by their male friends who show up, and their male. I can't get over the looks. Of the male friends. I mean, to be fair, everybody in this movie looks like a Hot Topic employee. But these guys in general are really.
So one of them just looks like the prep guy who's like, so distraught.
Yeah.
The guy, he's got like a little necklace thing.
Yeah.
The other one has eyeshadow, like eyeliner stuff on.
It's
and
fantastic.
it reminded me so much of you for those couple of days.
Yes.
I do want to get something out of the way right now, Brian. Your eyes.
I went to a roller derby party last night, and it was a decades party, and I was going for early 2000s emo. And so I did some eyeliner, and I cannot get it off.
He reminded me, the one guy reminded, the non-creepy one, like the one who's actually, there's the one guy who tries to hit on Liz or whatever. Not that guy. The other guy, he also looked like Adam Scott to me a little bit.
Yes,
I was like, yeah, it's Adam Scott. Actually, if that had been Adam Scott in this role, that would have been he would have killed it. Would have been amazing.
It's about the big titty vampire girlfriends.
So they're going to the chicken shack to meet up with Liz, and we get a great photoshopped chicken
my God,
shack.
it's so
sign.
bad.
But they're picking up Liz, who works at the chicken shack, and they do one of my favorite bad movie things at the end of the scene where they're like, all right, let's get out of here. And then they all go get in the car, and we hang on the shot.
All right, let's go.
For 45 goddamn seconds as they all open the door.
They all get into that Chevy Bronco?
Because isn't it a Ford Bronco?
No, I don't know. I don't know which one it is.
Was it the O.J. Simpson car a Ford Bronco? Is it a Chevy Bronco?
I'm pretty sure.
Because it looks like O.J. Simpson's car from the chase, from the infamous O.J. chase. It is a white whatever that it looks like a Bronco.
Ford Bronco.
Yeah, well, this is a Chevy, so it's not a Bronco.
But it looks just like
it. Looks very similar to it. But one of my favorite bad movie things is where they don't know how to like get through action quickly, so we just sit on a wide shot and watch them all open the doors, get in the car, sit down, put on their seatbelts.
This is our perfect opportunity to crank up the music and promote the shitty band.
Promote the shitty band that's in this movie. Yeah, I love it so much. And then as they're leaving, we're introduced to the bully character, or like the stoner druggy guys.
What is this?
I don't know.
What is this?
I don't know. They're like these two guys who don't like these goth kids. They're not
Look
even
at
really
them.
goth.
Look at them vampire people.
Yeah, they're so dumb. The voiceover for them is
That Liz bitch is hot. I don't know why she hangs out with those vampire freaks. What do you think they meant about a ceremony? Bet you they all get naked and fuck around. That would be sweet.
Yeah.
wild and amazing. But every line, they're just like, well, they're douchebags, they're losers, let's get them.
Let's fuck them up.
Let's fuck with them.
My brother, he says they hang out by the river. You still got those Halloween masks?
Yeah!
What'd I tell you about getting all messed up before we go out? You straight to drive?
Yeah, so they're gonna go fuck with them because they know they're gonna go hang out somewhere tonight. They're probably gonna do a sweet orgy. We can go watch them have an orgy, man. Like, they're so stupid. It's fucking dumb.
You know what my guilty voyeurism pleasure is? Watching people have orgies.
Yeah.
Do you think that Liz would go out with me?
Then we cut back, and they're going to pick up, the three girls are getting ready to go out that night or whatever.
Immediately, boobs,
yeah. They're watching Liz change in the window, and they're being douchebags, like the two guys. He's like, I don't know, man, I'd totally fuck Liz. And he's like, man, you're with Mona, you shouldn't fuck around. And he's like, are you telling me you wouldn't hit that? It's like the worst dialogue. I hate it so much.
Are you telling me you wouldn't hit that?
No, I would. Hard.
There's hope for you.
It's like, yes, a 12-year-old wrote this. This is how a 12-year-old thinks people talk about. So, yeah,
well, it's funny you mentioned
hard.
the writer because we meet him later.
Oh my God, I want to talk forever about that scene, Kyle. Forever. Oh my God. But that's the other thing. Kyle, how old are the people in this movie? No, not the actors. How old are the characters in this movie supposed to be?
I'm guessing college?
Middle-aged people go to college.
Where?
Television.
Are they?
I think so, because one of them keeps talking about getting to a poli-sci class.
True. I thought they were supposed to be high schoolers because, I mean, they all look 35 at least. Like, at least. They all look like they're in their 30s.
Okay. I can't say this directly because I have no actual evidence, but I'm pretty damn convinced at least two of the main chicks are porn actresses.
It's possible. It's possible.
At least one of them, because her fucking name on the cover of this DVD is Sugar Cox.
That is fair. That's fair. That is her name. And it does seem likely based on that name. But who knows? Maybe she just had cool parents. I don't know. Like, it just gave her a cool name. But but they all look like they're in their 30s for sure. But I thought they were supposed to be high schoolers because they steal booze from their parents, Kyle.
Thanks to my parents, tonight will be very memorable.
Fucking love that girl.
That's not a thing you do when you're in college. Like, what the fuck is that? And they're like,
also, I'd like to know what high school curriculum is offering poli-sci classes.
Yeah, well, but I guess you're right that it's supposed to be college, but it's what college kids are like stealing booze from their parents' liquor. It's so weird. It's so fucking weird. Because then I was like, well, I really hope they're supposed to be in college because we see all their tits all the time. I'm like, they're better not supposed to be high schoolers. What the fuck is going on? Oh God. And then we cut up to the room as they're getting ready, and our main character, we find out, is a lesbian.
Both him and Ken are typical zip-popping, hormone-induced rejects. What you need is a lesson in love.
You mean a lesson in lesbianism?
Yeah, Melissa, the main character. And I love her friend says, the Sugar Cox says to her, you mean a lesson in lesbianism from your tongue to my cooch?
You mean a lesson in lesbianism from your tongue to my cooch?
That is a way that high school / college age kids talk, Kyle, all the time.
Brian, they're in
if
an
I had a nickel
phase.
for every time I was hanging out with some college age friends back in college, and one of the girls turned to the other one and said,
You mean a lesson in lesbianism from your tongue to my cooch?
You mean a lesson in lesbianism from your tongue to my cooch? Boy, I'd be a millionaire these days.
Man, this dialogue is so relatable.
From your tongue to my cooch.
From your tongue to my cooch.
Cooch? I don't know anybody who uses that word non-ironically, Kyle. What the fuck? Oh my God.
Yes. Anytime you like.
God. I think you two spend way too much time together.
And as they're coming down, so they get ready. They're all dressed now, and they're coming down. And I love we get this random one-off line, which is funny in its randomness. It's the two guys are like,
would you rather have sex with Barbara Walters or Rosie O'Donnell?
What the fuck is happening? What is happening? So then they go out to the desert, and they're having their sweet little blood ritual, like orgy party. It's not an orgy, but they're having their little blood ritual
they're
together.
cutting their hands and putting it into a glass and all drinking from it.
Yeah, I love when they get there. They're like, "This is way better than Dungeons and Dragons," and I was like,
"Oh my god,
shots fired, Kyle! They're coming for you."
I can't remember who they were talking about, somebody's mom or something like that, but she's like a level 9 wizard, really powerful.
Your mom's pretty good at this.
Yeah, she's a badass wizard. Like 9th level.
First off, let me tell you about level 9 wizards.
Actually, Kyle coming out with big, strong, actually energy. Yeah. Oh boy. So they do this. They put all their blood in a wine glass, and they do some sweet chants.
We invoke the power of the vampire and state our desire to live forever.
And the music playing during the scene does not remotely fit the tone of the scene. It's supposed to be kind of creepy and like, you know, like a fun thing, but it's like this weird guitar plucking. It doesn't make any sense.
We offer this to you in deference, to your power and our willingness.
And then they think that they heard the vampires. They think they summoned the demons or whatever, but it's just the fucking stoners.
Yeah, we got them. Look at the vampire people. Yeah, we got them.
Yeah.
I don't like this. It wasn't supposed to work.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Damn it!
He's like, oh boy, vampire freaks, fuck you. Like, they're just so stupid.
Oh boy, vampire freaks, fuck you!
But it was all prank. And then I love, after that ends, the main character, Melissa, sits and cries about not being able to summon vampires.
Because she wants to be released from like this mortal coil.
Yes!
I thought we were close this time.
Come on, Mel. It's not like we can just call vampires out of the air.
Well, why not, huh? So I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life in this fucking town.
She's so done with being a human in this shit town, Kyle. She's got to get out of Forks. It's just the worst, Kyle. I don't know. It's not Forks. It's whatever the Arizona equivalent of Forks is. But she hates it so much, and she just wants to become a vampire and get revenge on the entire town. I love this movie, Kyle. I love it so much.
The only thing that went through my head thinking like, it's Scottsdale.
Yeah, probably is Scottsdale. Probably.
It's nothing against people from Scottsdale. It's just people think like, what is the most boring town in Arizona? Scottsdale.
Yeah. So then we cut to the next day. She's walking down the street, and this is a great scene. This is the the writer.
God. She's walking by somebody. She's like shit garage sale or whatever, and he just is like, "We're gonna walk by.
You gonna walk by and not come see what I got?"
Hey there. No hello?
Excuse me?
Just gonna walk on by and not even take a look at my stuff?
And she's like, oh, okay. And she walks over, and it is the writer of this film. We did some IMDb looking.
This guy needs to be in jail.
Love this scene, Kyle. This scene is so okay. So keep in mind, this guy wrote this scene. So first we start with a sweet down the blouse shot as she bends to look at something, and then he pulls up a book. And he holds. I say
on
up.
his dick.
Right, he's like, I got a book. You should check this out. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. And it's just like a little black leather book. And then he gives her the book.
Pentagram on it, right?
Yeah, it's got like a little pentagram on it or something. He gives her the book, and as she's walking away, he says this line, which is fantastic.
You can feel it, can't you? Be careful what you wish for. You just might get it, you bitchy bitch.
What? They don't know each other. I don't know any of what's going on here. And then, Kyle, I guarantee you, on my fucking life, the entire reason this movie exists
is for this scene.
Is for this 10 seconds of scene that is happening next. He says that line, and then out of nowhere,
vampire, like
4 naked vampire chicks all appear and start sucking his blood. For like 30 seconds, he's just like, ugh, and there's just these naked vampire chicks sucking his blood.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
And there's no way that motherfucker wasn't coming the entire time, Kyle. The entire time.
Now, do you think they built that up to be the last thing they did? Or do you think that was like early on? It had to be early on because there was multiple people
I
involved.
think he edged his way there, Kyle. I think he edged right up to this.
But then afterwards, he's like, all right, you're the director of this shit now. I don't care. You can do whatever you want.
Oh my God. It's so, there's no way that he didn't go through all the work of writing a script and getting a movie produced and made just so that he could cast himself in that role for that scene so he could get sucked on by a bunch of vampire chicks. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Oh my God.
It's about the big titty vampire girlfriends.
So then this is the last time we ever see him, and none of that's ever explained. Was he a demon? What was that supposed to be? Like, why did he get eaten by vampires? What my only thought was, like, what was supposed to be happening here is he somehow made a deal with Giovanni that we never saw.
Yeah.
That he was like, if I get her this book, you turn me into a vampire. And then Giovanni sent his vampire bitches to turn him into a vampire. It's the only thing I can think that makes any sense.
But the book has the ways to bring back Giovanni.
Yeah, and as one of our main characters says, I was looking it over today. It's actually pretty cool.
I was looking it over earlier today, and it's actually pretty cool.
That's how they describe this demon book that could bring the dead back to life. It's amazing.
Somebody finds the Necronomicon.
Yeah.
I was looking over this Book of the Dead, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty nifty. This is also where they're sitting on those stairs with the book is where we get the first that I noticed line of real in-world dialogue.
Tread softly. Man, this shit is good.
But I did like this. I thought this was fun. They drop the book on the ground, and then they do a little stop motion gag with it where it like, it doesn't look great, but
it gives them all the information they need to know where to go for the ritual.
Yeah. Yeah, but I thought that was fun. Although during that scene, the paper moving sound effects are all only in the left channel, as always. Also, if you like cleavage, this movie is for you.
If this is Miners Ridge, then this is that new housing development.
Also, we find out that the one guy, the Adam Scott looking dude, I think, has a giant horse cock.
See, I told you guys I was with him for more than just his big dick.
Okay, so if Horsecock over here is right, then...
Very important.
Yep.
Kyle.
Yep.
That was mentioned.
Important.
Very important.
So if Horsecock over here is right...
But they have to go do this ceremony at a specific place, and that specific place is Massacre Lane.
Oh, shit. Massacre Lane.
Massacre Lane? Jesus Christ.
Wow, why is it called Massacre Lane? Their explanation.
Is there an explanation?
Yeah,
I didn't remember.
For it is every time they tried to like build houses there or whatever, either the people would show up dead or they would go insane and kill like the family and then themselves.
Oh, nice. I missed that. I just thought it was a really like conveniently named road. That's like a nickname.
That's what they were saying. And then, and then it's just a dead end piece of road now because nobody wants to move out there.
God, what are you guys so afraid of? So some nutcase killed his family there. Big deal.
It's actually fluoride in the tab. That's what drove people crazy.
Just lead in the paint.
I got in trouble in biology for not cutting into the frog.
How?
I told him it was against my religion.
Oh, God. What religion?
Satan worship.
Also, he says after that, when they're talking about how nervous Liz is about the ceremony, I think it's Adam Scott or whatever, is like, it's not like we're going to turn into vampires.
It's not like we're going to become vampires or anything, but it sure is a nice thought.
But that is a nice thought. That's a nice thought. It's a nice thought. Like, we're probably not going to become vampires. It'd be super cool if we did.
You think that old book is evil?
Yeah, come on, Liz. You can't be serious.
I am serious. Just promise me you guys will be careful tonight. Please.
And then we'll find out this is a dream. that she's having, but we cut to a black room with smoke and just several minutes of our main character laying in underwear on a bed, touching herself.
This scene right here felt very Neil Breenish.
Yes.
It is possible. It is possible. Anything's possible. Oh, jeez.
This is the other reason this movie was made, was this scene and the scene later that happens in this same room, in the same like void
that writer's
bedroom. Yeah, there's no way that the writer wasn't on set for that day of filming. I guarantee you that much. But she's just laying there touching herself forever. And there's a great line that Giovanni says to her. He's like, "Soon you will know the pleasure of necrotic flesh."
Soon you will know the pleasure of necrotic flesh.
You will know the pleasure of dead, rotting flesh.
And then he bites her neck, but he doesn't. It's so clear he's just like rubbing his teeth on her. He's not like even making it look like he's biting her. He's just like rubbing his mouth on her neck. It looks terrible. It's so stupid. So then she wakes up. She was dreaming. Her parents are fighting. She hates this stupid town. It's time for the ceremony. They're driving into the desert.
Screw those people.
Okay, you like your mother, you worthless, don't know how to do anything right.
God, how I love living at home.
And I love as they're walking into the desert, they're like, all right, let's do this. And then one of them's like, let's rock. And when this scene started, there was ambient sound of like the area. And then halfway through, it just stops, and it's
I think
just
it's because
VO.
Let's rock.
In the timeline, it just ran out, and they didn't copy and paste.
They didn't copy and paste it, or they had it there and they accidentally cut it, and then oh my god, it's so. But that's the thing, is like it's so random when they decide to use things like ambient sound, and it drives me crazy.
So crazy.
I have a bad feeling about this.
So they find the location. They're like, this is it. This is the place where we got to do the ceremony. She found it on the map or something. And they start building a fire. And I love when the guy lights the fire. He's very proud of himself. He lights it and he's like, hey, look at me. He's like super cool.
Hey.
And then they start drinking because they're, again.
But Liz can only get gin.
And again, once again, how old are these people supposed to be? The dude takes a drink of gin. He's like, what is this? This is gross.
Jesus, what the hell is this?
All my dad had was gin and whiskey. I'm assuming you took a chug of gin.
It tastes like pine tree air freshener.
It's like it's like a high schooler talking about like drinking gin, because gin is a weird flavor. But they're supposed, how old are I? Because they look like they're 40, but they talk like they're 19, and I don't understand.
It's like the teenagers in Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man films.
Oh yeah,
where it's like, oh, they're 27.
Yeah. And then so they do a sweet kiss circle, because that's important. They got to kiss around the circle, and then and then that does some magic, I guess, and summons the vampire demons by doing the sweet kiss circle.
Welcome. I am here now.
They go back to the black room, and now she's in lingerie, like sheer lingerie. Also, by the way, this movie's on YouTube. There are just tits everywhere, even though it's on YouTube. And we spend an eternity watching her suck on this dude's wrist.
The ecstasy you shall feel for eternity.
Holy
this
shit.
Goes for just forever.
Kyle.
And it's not just her. They bring in the other chicks, too.
Because then when she starts making out with the other chick, then they're there, and she's in the same lingerie. And then also, all the costume design in this movie is so cheap and terrible looking. Like, this scene could be interesting if done in any way interestingly, but it's like the cheapest. Like, they went to like the lingerie's even chintzy and weird and not sexy. It's all just terrible. It's all really bad. I will say this particular, and you mentioned earlier that like this director / writer should be in jail. I don't disagree because of that one scene. But I will say I was overall didn't get the same vibes I did from Camp Blood 8 because to me, all of the women in this movie who were naked, I got the vibe were like into it and like weren't they. My point is being it didn't seem to me that like they got tricked into being in this movie. It feels like they were like, yeah, this is cool. We'll make this movie. And you know what? Good for you. I'm on board. Because I also, though, had a very similar moment during this lingerie bedroom scene where I was like...
Oh, I thought you were going to openly admit, like, so I made a movie.
No, I was just going to say that I did have a slight moment with the lingerie wrist sucking where I was like, just make porn, you fucking psychopath. Yes. Like, it was a little bit of one of that moment. Just make porn, you psychopath. Of just like, come on. But at the same time, I don't know. I had a softer spot for this movie than I expected to. And not in the same way. Like, Camp Blood 8 was just horrifying. This one felt different to me. I don't know.
Freedom!
So anyways, they're now being possessed. They try to get Liz, but she doesn't want to, and she like fights them off. And then she runs away and finds a mirror in the woods
that has Longshank in it.
His reflection, and then it possesses her.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I understand. Oh.
What? Okay, now she has a British accent, Kyle.
Bloody fucking vampires. Again.
And is Longshanks the vampire hunter?
Yes.
What the fuck? It's so wild. It's so fucking wild.
Don't get your knickers into a bunch, boys. They're fine now.
What's with the accent? This is fucking serious.
You have no idea how serious this is.
They're sitting there, they're like, they become unpossessed. Yeah. Mona and Melissa become unpossessed.
This is definitely where the movie became like fucking too much chaos.
It's like the last 15 minutes of the movie, so it's whatever. But yeah, like they become unpossessed, but then meanwhile Giovanni's like talking to Melissa in her head like,
you are aware that I love you. Longshank is trying to prevent our love from happening.
And I love that one of the other guys is sitting there clearly watching her have this like psychic conversation. He's like, you all right? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, bro, she was just talking to herself, staring off into nowhere, and she was just possessed by a fucking vampire or something. Okay.
I'm fine. So what are we gonna do?
So then the bullies show up. This is a great scene. Kyle, the bullies show up.
This is incredible.
Because again, they want to pick on these guys, and they show up. But as they're showing up, meanwhile, I forgot to mention, Giovanni has raised a bunch of like vampire henchmen. Yeah, and these guys show up to our bullies, and they punch his fucking head off.
Oh yes.
What the fuck?
They punch his head off, and his friend is just like laughing about it.
I guess he's supposed to be like stoned or whatever.
Yeah, he's supposed to be so out of his mind on drugs, I guess, that he just thinks it's hilarious. But boy, that kind of thing will sober you up very quick, Kyle. I feel like I don't think that would be the reaction.
The jettison of blood from his where his head was,
rockets
spraying everywhere.
It's spraying directly into the face of his friend.
Yes.
It's pretty great. It's a pretty great moment. So then the Thrall dudes confront our other main characters who are not evil at this point, and I love that one of them like force pushes Adam Scott, and he just like jumps backwards, like very clearly the actor just
Whoa.
It's so stupid.
You always have been sexually ambiguous.
But then they start fighting each other, and there's a bunch of random fighting, and they throw a stake, and we get the Sam Raimi like camera following the stake into the vampire. It's pretty awesome. So anyways, Kent gets eaten, who I think is the Adam Scott guy, or maybe the other guy, I don't remember. He gets jumped on by a vampire and eaten, and fucking Sugar Cox's reaction to this is grade A. Just, so good. She goes, Can't.
Can't.
And then runs over and it's like, oh no.
Can't.
There's nothing we can do.
No.
Oh, and then she starts crying, and it's the least emotional
Boo!
cry. Yeah, it is.
Looks up to see people staring at her.
Boo! It's so bad. It's hilarious. I love it so much.
Can't be too careful, I always say.
We might as well just give up.
Meanwhile, Melissa now has been grabbed by the vampires again, and she's being viciously disrobed.
Yes.
In close-up shots for way too long of a time. And now she's naked for like the rest of the movie. And we get an eternity of Giovanni just hover-handing over her boobs for like the rest of this movie. That's all it is. It's just his hands just like... Also, there's a very abrupt cut right there. He's like, boobs, and it's like, boob, and we're moving on. What else? Oh, because we cut to something else, and then we cut back to more boob hand hovering, and I was like, was the director just like actively jerking off and like they couldn't cut from the shot until he fucking finished? Because that's what it feels like. Then Liz shows up to save the day. She impales Igor again in the chest.
I think Igor is just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then I love Giovanni shows up to her and says, "You can't win," and she says,
"You can't win."
You can't live.
Which is a terrible one-liner response. We have one other line of real audio right here that was recorded on the day. This is like the other one that I noticed.
We're safe now.
No, it won't.
And then meanwhile, surprise, Mona was actually still a vampire, and she bites and she eats her boyfriend or whatever, the other guy, the Adam Scott guy, I think it is. And then she disappears. And then we get into this big fight between Liz and Giovanni. They like wrestle around. And I was like, you know who got the best gig in this whole thing is the actress playing Melissa. She just gets to lay on the ground next to a fire naked for like the entire last few days of filming of this movie. She's just laying there naked, just like taking a nap. Like,
are we done with the scene yet?
Yeah, just covered in fake blood, just sleeping.
Like, can we get another shot of the boobs?
Let's reset. I need you to hover hand her boobs a little while longer.
I just don't feel like we got enough coverage. Okay?
I don't think. Oh, and then Liz slaps her conscious.
Wake up!
We mentioned this in the last review or in our last episode that in this movie, several people get slapped into consciousness. Melissa gets slapped into consciousness by Liz, or by Liz Shanks as she calls her, because it's Long Shanks and Liz. Great, good stuff.
Liz Shank, wake up!
Liz throws a steak at Giovanni and he catches it with zero sound effects because there's like just no sound effects in this fucking movie.
He's a vampire. He's that quiet.
Yeah. But then she does eventually just stab him in the chest. It's very anticlimactic.
Oh.
Liz Shank!
And there's no blood. There's no nothing. He just lays there and goes, ugh, and then bursts into flames. Like bad, like masked out, like flame. It's terrible. So she kills him. It's really boring. He just dies in flames. But we do get some dope-ass sequel bait because Kyle Longshanks was supposed to, his spirit after she killed Giovanni was supposed to leave Liz.
My fate and the fate of Giovanni must be intertwined. Liz's reluctance provided an opening for me. I'm not sure, but if and when the danger's over, Liz will come back and I'll sink back into subconscious.
and it hasn't.
Nope, because
She's
there's
still
still
launching.
work to do.
There's still somebody out there, and they get in their sweet that sweet
That
Eldorado or whatever it is,
Yes.
and drive away, and some random guy walks out. No, before that, before that, some random dude that we have never seen walks out of the desert with a cross on his chest. Was it the kid?
Maybe.
Was it supposed to be the kid? Because he draws a cross on that kid's chest with blood, but it doesn't look the same at all. I don't know. That wouldn't make any sense. But that was the only thing I could think.
So confusing.
But some random guy that we've never seen walks out of the woods, and it's just like, And then as they're driving, I also love we get this weird setup because, again, as we mentioned, Mel is a lesbian, and she says to Longshank, she's like, "So, were you gay?"
Were you like gay when you were alive?
And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "When you were in your past life, were you?" And he's like, "No, I had a wife." And she goes,
No. I had a beautiful wife.
So you like girls?
and she's like, "Nice."
Why, yes.
I like girls.
Yes, I know, but I don't see what that has to... Oh.
It's like, what the fuck? It's so stupid.
So your friend is possessed by a spirit.
Yeah.
You better take advantage of this.
Yeah, that's real fucked up, real weird. But then, as they're driving away, Mona opens the trunk. I guess is what's supposed to happen, and it's just like, I'm alive still.
You'll pay for this shit. There's a new bitch in town.
And then shuts it, and the fucking credits roll. Kyle,
Good Lord,
I love this movie. I would say it's good bad. It's only an hour and 15 minutes.
That's what makes it really nice. It's so short.
Hour and 15 minutes. The production quality is, so compared to last week, which had relatively okay production quality, this is true trash.
Yeah, this is a couple of college students made.
This is true trash. The costumes are terrible. It's all ADR. The deliveries are terrible. All the acting's terrible. It's all clearly just an excuse to get some hot chicks making out in a void room in lingerie. It's every terrible thing I love about a bad movie. It's not that good. I want to say it's everything I love about a terrible movie. That being said, it's not like a great good bad movie. It's lower tier for sure.
Yes.
But I enjoyed it. It's not like compared to like The Incubus, it's not nearly as good.
I watched it once. I enjoyed it for what it's worth. I'm not going to watch it again.
No, I would never watch it again. I would watch The Incubus again. Like compared to like a similar style movie.
No.
Yes.
Don't do it. Please. Don't. Marley. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Like compared to like The Incubus or Ember Days or what's the other? Oh, like not Camp Blood 8. Fuck that one. But compared to like Ember Days or Incubus, it's similar to those, but those are both way more entertaining in my opinion than this one. But it's similar, and because of that, I liked it. So good, bad. And thank you to whoever sent it in. We appreciate it. That was a lot of fun. If you want to send us anything, you can do it at this address on the screen right now. That's our P.O. Box. We open that stuff every couple months. We're actually we had gotten rid of all of our packages. I still have one more video to put out, but we had opened all of ours. But we have a few more now again. So we'll be doing those.
We're going to let those accumulate.
Yeah, we'll let them accumulate a little bit more. But I should have another P.O. Box episode out in the next month or so. And that'll be the one that's all caught up at this point. But yeah, you can do us a giant favor, apart from sending us stuff, by heading over to patreon.com/goodbad or badbad. Or it might be GBorBB. I think it's GBorBB. I think I said that wrong. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's on the screen. There's a link in the description. Go there. You can support us for X amount of money a month. You get some bonus stuff. But in general, you're just supporting us, which we appreciate.
Get a backlog of our previous.
Yes. We have lots of bonus like podcast episodes, Q&As.
Get hear young Kyle and young Brian complain about Transformers.
Yes, the original podcast before Good Bad or Bad Bad called Kyle Hates Everything that we did a few episodes of. You can listen to that. There's also
Broken Dreams.
Yeah, if you're at the which we never finished, you're fine. We
No,
gotta
we
finish
need
your
to, we
movie,
need
Kyle.
to.
Yes, and then we got to do the next one. We
I
have one
know.
more now. But we there is a Broken Dream series which you get at the $5 and up level, I believe, which is us talking about our own projects and making fun of them and kind of ripping on them, that sort of thing. So you can get all that stuff over at Patreon.com. I have a podcast called This Film Was It. We're talking about movies that are based on books. And when this episode's out, the most recent episode will have been The Hunger Games 2: Catching Fire. We're in the middle of the Hunger Games series.
It's got Donald Sutherland in it.
Yeah, he's great. He's great in it. At least in the first one. I don't know how much
Is
he's
Philip
in all
Seymour
of them.
Hoffman in Catching
He's in
Fire?
the second one. Yeah, I think he's in the
Okay.
second one. He plays Plutarch, I believe.
Nice. It's like one of his last film roles, right?
Yeah, it was one of the last ones for sure. But that's what we're doing on This Film Is Lit. So go check that out. Occasionally, yeah, tpublic.com/ I don't know, not slash anything. Just search for Good Bad or Bad Bad or search for Quantum Physics. You can find our merch. And we got Twitch streams sometimes, twitch.tv, thing on the screen. Go there, watch us do stuff. Kyle plays Minecraft and EverQuest and stuff, and I occasionally play other games, but
And makes
rarely.
pizza. Brian also makes
Yeah,
pizza.
sometimes I make pizza, but it's been a while. Those are the stuff we do on Twitch. That's it. I think, was there anything else?
Nope. I think
Nope,
that's it.
cool. Until next time, keep watching movies.
Especially Vampegeddon.
It's on YouTube. You can just watch it on YouTube. It's
Yep.
the real legit
You-
copy.
you can go
and you can
to
get them
YouTube.
YouTube titties.
You can go to YouTube and
get them YouTube titties. There's nothing, Kyle. It's like free range, you know. It's like there's something about titties on YouTube that make them better than like titties on other sites. It's like there's a taboo there, Kyle.
Somebody's like, yes. This is tits on YouTube for educational purposes.
Yeah, it's very educational. This film is absolutely very educational. No, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like, there's something about boobs on YouTube. Like, you can see boobs so many places on the internet, but when you see them on YouTube, you're like, I'm getting away with something here.
Well, it's like getting them on PBS.
Are there boobs on PBS?
Peter, chilling
Have
on
people been
breast
hired?
exams.
Oh yeah.